Welcome to episode 78 of Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC animated universe co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And we have a little tiny bit of news, I guess.
We have a very short list of news. Even though we haven't talked about news in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I'm sure you guys are caught up on everything more than we are.
Yeah, I only just now watched the new Solo trailer, literally as we sat down at this table. I have to say, I'm actually quite excited for it now.
Yeah.
It looks really fun.
It looks like a lot of fun. I'm very excited for this trailer. I loved the... I have a good feeling about this.
Yeah.
He's finally a positive person.
Yeah. There was good, genuine moments of like little bits of comedy in there. We got a little more of Donald Glover.
Which is all I really wanted. Because I just want a Lando movie more than a Han movie.
I know. I really want a Lando movie. Mm-hmm. If this is maybe we get a Lando movie, but I'm not sure. It'll probably do okay.
This?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's Star Wars still.
But are people burnt out on Star Wars? I'm burnt out on Star Wars.
Obviously. We're still going to watch it.
Of course. Like, I'm more excited to see this now than I was after the last trailer.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm burnt out or if I'm just not anxious, not worried. What's a word that's kind of in that same realm? You have trepidation?
Skeptical?
Yeah, trepidation sounds right.
You're trepidatious?
Trepidatious?
Trepidatious. Say trippingly, dear boy.
I'm skeptical of Star Wars films after... Because I think I've voiced my opinion on the podcast before. I wasn't a huge fan of Rogue One.
Oh, that's right, you weren't.
And then Last Jedi I was also not a huge fan of.
You're more right.
So I'm kind of like, of the past three, I'm 1 for 3. Which is not great odds.
No. But never tell me the odds, Cameron.
Exactly.
That
was one of my favorite jokes in the Family Guy Star Wars special, where it was like the odds of getting through this asteroid field are 1 in 10, and Peter Han Solo was like, never tell. Really? That's not that bad.
Yeah.
I think we can do that.
Yeah. See, there you go. Star Wars can be good. Just put it in Seth MacFarlane's hands.
He did a great job.
He honestly did. Yeah.
He did great. And then, what's his face? Robot Chicken. Seth Green. Seth Green did great 1.5 times.
Yeah. Just give it to Seth's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can handle it.
Yeah. Just give it to Seth Rogen.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just JJ, step away.
Did you watch his comedy special?
JJ Abrams?
Yes.
Yeah.
Stepped into the...
He can never finish a joke, though. He just opens up a mystery box, setting up a joke, and he never pays it
and then
off.
He walks off stage.
Yeah. And then Ryan Jensen comes in and just like shoots down all of his punchlines.
Yeah. He explains all of them.
Yeah. No, JJ, it's not funny.
Yeah.
Oh, walks away. Wait, no, Seth Rogen had a stand-up special? Oh, on Netflix.
Yeah, on Netflix. He took charge of the... what is it called? Comedy charity.
The Night of Too Many Stars?
No, because that's still Jon Stewart.
Isn't that HBO?
I think so. This is the first time this one has aired, I think. I had someone talk to me about it at Kickball today. Hilarity for Charity.
Oh, okay. Never heard of it.
One of the guys I used to do kickball with. I don't think it ever was broadcast before.
Oh, interesting.
Because he was talking about he helped set up it when it first started, so I guess it's fairly new.
Oh, okay.
He's a young, strapping lad.
Oh.
Has a girlfriend. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'll work on it.
Yeah. He was talking about how like they kind of transitioned it this year to kind of be like almost a Seth Rogen roast over a comedy special for charity.
That sounds kind of fun. Did you watch it?
I watched half of it. I watched up to John Mulaney's performance.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm assuming up through.
Sorry, up through John Mulaney's performance.
There's no way you're going to turn the TV off when it's John Mulaney.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Luckily, he's pretty early on. So.
I mean, I can see Seth Rogen being a good guy for a roast because from everything that I've seen and heard, he is actually like a really nice, lovable, down-to-earth guy, and that he would be totally down for something like that. Mm-hmm. I can see that being really fun.
Yeah, the opening kind of monologue-esque thing, opening skit, is Nick Kroll being his douchebag self,
Wait, like playing one of his douchebag characters,
yes,
or playing
sorry.
the Nick Kroll douchebag persona?
No, playing one of his characters.
Okay.
I assume. I don't think he. I feel like I hope he's not a douchebag.
No,
in real life. I think he's a good.
I don't think
person.
he is. I think he's actually pretty chill. But
Yeah.
I think that he has a persona though he does for.
Yeah, it's the same kind of persona that what's his face in
Another white guy.
Nope.
Oh wow. Okay.
Jason Mantzoukas.
Oh,
Where Mantzoukas is always playing
like
the
he's always
asshole.
playing like he's playing just like a little bit, like even when he's himself, he's always playing just a little bit heightened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nick Kroll like asking Seth Rogen for a favor, like, oh yeah, can you just like do the laugh for my cousin? Like, yeah, and Seth's like, no, man, I can't. And like he just like goes, it's a funny but very awkward.
Oh, I'm sure.
Bit at the beginning.
So I have never met Seth Rogen, but
Oh, you haven't?
I have not. I have not. But when they were shooting Steve Jobs, they were filming it at De Anza College, or at the time I was studying.
Oh,
film.
you're gonna do your acting drop?
Well, I mean, okay, I have a brief appearance in that movie, but no, what I was going to say is
Not just the movie.
What?
Aren't you in the trailer?
Yeah, yes, I'm in the trailer, and yeah, you can. Yeah, I'm in the trailer and the movie.
Oh, what? Me in the trailer?
Who? This guy? But I would hang out around the set all the time, just like go and see what they were doing, and so I got to see Aaron Sorkin looking real pissed off.
Good, great.
I actually did get a chance to talk to Danny Boyle because he came into like a class and did a presentation and like did a
cool.
Q&A. I got to ask him a question. Really nice. He brought his whole crew in to talk, and I would watch them film some of the scenes. And I got to hear off in the distance, like the coo of a dove,
the laugh.
Seth Rogen's laugh. I got to hear it IRL. And it just not only made my day, I'm still talking about it.
I'm sure it just like lightens the whole campus.
It did. You could just hear everyone just, sigh.
Someone, Seth's happy over there.
Someone was going right into a midterm, and they just heard it echoing across the campus.
Seth's happy,
and they
so
just,
I'm happy.
They felt so at peace, and they went in and they owned that test.
They did.
Yeah. The one person it couldn't make happy, that was Aaron Sorkin.
Right.
But enough about that. Okay, a couple other quick little things here. Did you ever read Y the Last Man, the comic series?
I did.
I guess it's getting a
I
pilot.
read half of it. I read 1 through 4. No, there's only 4. I read 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, but I guess it's getting a pilot order on FX, I want to say.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I read news on my phone as I was flying home.
As I was talking.
And I closed the browser, so I don't know if that's actually true, if it's FX or not, but I saw that. And I've heard really great things about the comic, and I've heard that it's been a hard one to ever get adapted. And I've also heard that it is probably better fitted for a TV show.
Oh,
than a
absolutely.
movie. Yeah.
Just because it's one guy and a full female cast.
Perfect.
So I think now is the best time for it to become a thing.
Yeah.
Since we have this huge
female
female
shift
movement.
happening.
Yeah.
No, I've heard really good things. It's one of those that I should read at some point because I've only ever heard great things.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that's good.
Yeah.
It can be interesting. And then the last thing I saw, which you probably saw as well, Black Panther, now third highest grossing film in the U.S. of all time. In the U.S.
Man.
of all time.
So it just passed Avengers.
No. So
Oh,
that means it passed Titanic to settle in behind
Avengers
Force Awakens
and
Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
That is insane.
That's crazy.
Makes me so happy.
And it'll only hold it until Infinity War. Maybe
it's that'll be interesting because I think
Infinity War beats it.
I don't know if Infinity War will beat it or not because Black Panther was so different. And although I am so goddamn excited for Infinity War, it's unbelievable. But that for a lot of people that may still look and think like, oh, this is just another Avengers movie. Whereas like Black Panther, nothing had ever been done like it before.
That's true.
But you can see that they're like pushing the Black Panther elements of it hard on the marketing. Which
If you have not watched the TV spot.
I've been avoiding the TV spots.
Okay, it's a minute, and it's a minute of Black Panther chanting.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I might watch it now, actually. That sounds amazing.
I mean, there's like a bunch of shots of other people, but it's mainly just like Black Panther. It's just T'Challa and Okoye like talking about letting people into Wakanda.
Oh my god! Mm-hmm. Oh my god! I actually had a dream the other night.
Did you?
That we were on our way to go see that movie, and we kept getting like sidetracked and distracted and held up. And I was just getting more and more mad. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I had a nightmare the other day.
Yeah,
that I was trying to go see Avengers.
That sounds like
we
a
couldn't
movie.
actually watch it.
I feel like I've seen that story played out in film before.
We should do it.
We should.
Yeah, we'll shoot it live
Yes.
as we try to go see the movie.
Exactly.
One of us will have like a huge like epiphany about our entire life, and we'll decide at the end, like, you know what? I don't need to see this movie. I'm just going to go live my life instead. And the rest of us will go,
yeah,
idiot,
I'm going to slap him. And I had a question that I overheard someone asking this week. And it was, where does Fox go if the Venom movie is actually good?
Wait, Fox or Sony?
Sony. Sorry. Where does Sony go if the Fox movie Venom is actually good?
Okay,
what do they still own? Because I think that's what a lot of people don't understand.
So Sony has the rights to, I think it's just Spider-Man and affiliated Spider-Man characters. So if it does well, we might end up getting that Silver and Black movie they keep threatening us with. I don't. Where do they go? I mean,
there's rumors that Carnage is in this movie.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't assume him to be the main villain.
I don't know. I think the best case scenario is if Venom actually. See, this is the thing. If Venom does well, then that might mean that Marvel is more willing to play ball about incorporating them in. But it also might just mean that Sony just rides that hubris and goes off and makes another real crappy Spider-Man film.
But I also love that the way that question was asked was like having such a low bar that that even people that like, because this was at my office and like it's people that don't even watch superhero films, or that aren't like that I don't talk to regularly about superhero stuff, that like just asked that question out of the blue of like, your bar is so low that no one expects this movie to be good.
Yeah.
And like they don't know what'll happen if it is good. And I just love that idea.
Yeah, I don't know it's not gonna be good. But Into the Spider-Verse might be.
I'm so excited for that.
I'm actually excited for that, yeah. So hopefully at least that one is good. And we get more cool like Spider-Man animated movies.
Yes.
I'm totally down for that.
I want more animated films in theaters.
Yes, I do too, actually.
Because I think it will. There's that problem that we've posed a few times before. Probably, I don't think we've done it on air. Talking about kind of the immortal state of heroes compared to the mortal actors, where like,
what?
I just wanted to sound smart for a minute. Superman, Batman, etc. Iron Man, Cap. I mean, the actors will continue to age, where the characters have stayed the exact same, minus like What If and Elseworld stories.
Okay.
Since the 30s, 40s, 50s.
Right.
And how to transition that into film, where we can't really handle that. In live action film. But in animated film, that's clearly
okay.
something you can do, seeing as we had the same Batman that we're still talking about for, 14 years, 12 years?
What?
Animated Batman.
Oh God.
I need to follow my brain when I'm not talking about things.
My brain is shot. It is absolutely shot. I was on a plane today. I did some day drinking before that.
I understand.
Yeah.
We can jump into the episodes if we want. I think we'll have better luck at that.
It's probably better if we do that.
We'll hold this point for another episode when we're both slightly more awake and not recording at 10:30 at night.
Oh, do we want to go ahead and talk about Animal Acts first, presuming that we're going to have less to talk about on that and more to talk about with In Brightest Day and Green Lantern? So, let me scroll down my notes here to Animal Act. I would describe this as a weak episode with good moments in it.
Yes, I completely agree. When I saw Haley Circus, I had super high expectations the rest of the way through.
Robin's Reckoning, probably one of my still all-time favorite episodes.
Well, I was going to say, this is the almost exact same story we got in Young Justice.
This is true, yeah.
And Young Justice, as I said during Robin's Reckoning, did it so much better than this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, than Robin's Reckoning?
No. It's a different story from Robin's Reckoning.
If I weren't so tired, I would slap you.
This is the same. This episode, Animal Instinct, is the same as Animal Instinct. Yeah. As the Young Justice episode.
Yeah, and because I've only watched Young Justice once, but I remember that episode, and so I think when I started...
It's one of my favorites.
It is really good, and I think when I started watching this, I was like, this seems familiar. Oh, right, because it's like Young Justice. Also, I remember seeing this when it aired.
I think the one scene that this one missed that the other one handled so much better was the ringmaster of Haley's circus. I don't remember his name.
No, I don't know.
Haley.
Yeah.
There's a scene
Joel
where
Hale.
yes, Joel McHale.
Yes,
Joel
exactly.
McHale is the ringmaster for this.
Yeah.
Wow, he does a lot.
He's in everything.
Where he's in the Robin outfit fighting Parasite, and at the end the ringmaster like gives him a hug, and he's like, "It's like, hope to see you again soon, Dick." He's like, "How did you know?" And he's like, "Once a Grayson flies, you always know what they look like."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, they said it in a much nicer and more sentimental way, but like I loved that moment where like the ringmaster, even in Robin swinging around, like he can still clearly see that it's Dick.
Yeah. He never forgets a dick.
It's it's hard too.
Yeah.
And I would have loved that moment because they do set up kind of that like, did they, didn't they romance between Dick and Miranda in this episode.
I'm going to assume they didn't, considering that Dick was 8 when he left the
I
circus.
mean, like, you know what I mean.
Do you mean a will they, won't they? Rather than
yes.
did they, didn't they?
Yes.
I did enjoy that moment, though, because they look at each other and both like, oh, hello.
Yeah. And he even says, like, the tiger's name, and I was waiting for Miranda to catch that.
I was kind of waiting for that moment, too.
But then they kind of distracted that moment by being like, oh, also, everyone is under my mind control. Oh, also, the villain of this episode is Mad Hatter. Sorry for jumping straight to the end.
Oh, who cares? It's fine. I think because when I was getting ready to watch these, I like opened up like the DCA wiki and stuff, and so it got spoiled for me that it was the Mad Hatter, and I kind of wished I didn't know that because I think I would have recognized him when we first saw him dressed up as a clown.
I didn't get it the first time. I caught it the second time when he was messing with Bullock.
Yeah,
because he like tipped his hat.
Okay,
and I noticed it was the exact same hat.
Yeah, and I've always liked the Mad Hatter, and I like the updated version of Mad Hatter because he talks in rhyming lyrics or rhyming lines in limerick style, which always makes me happy. It's the whole concept is kind of silly of him taking control of animals and having them go and like steal chips, especially because it never really. He never really had a plan. He was,
right. There was no motive behind it. Like he wasn't trying to build anything better.
No, he wasn't like trying to. Yeah, he was just like stealing stuff to steal stuff. And I guess he was testing out the capability of his technology because the whole thing is he realized he could control them from really far distances, which I guess is impressive. But they never did anything with it. And maybe I was waiting for there to be like some grander plan in place. I mean, I guess maybe partly I'm glad they didn't because that would have been a little more cliched. I guess. At least having all of the circus folk, that's a mean thing to say. The performers,
yes,
fight. Nightwing was more fun.
When I was taking notes, I wrote Carnies and I got mad at myself for calling them that.
Yeah.
The Greatest Showman changed me. They're performers.
What did they refer to themselves as in The Greatest Showman?
Performers.
Performers, okay. So we should stick with The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
As in all things in life, take inspiration from The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Mad Hatter?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because there was even that episode. It wasn't Joker.
No, it was Joker. Be a clown. Where Joker dressed up as.
No, that's not the point I was trying to go to.
Oh.
Where it was I think it was Scarecrow, who was just robbing to make enough money to leave the city.
Oh.
Where it was like such a small thing that he was trying to do.
Yeah.
And it was. Like there was still reasoning behind it, even though it was small.
Yeah, I did have a question as I was watching this when they come across. I think it was the Bears stealing chips out of
cars.
I think it was like a car alarm company. I don't know. That whole thing was stupid. But the question I had was, does crime not overlap in Gotham? Like we've never seen Batman out on a case and coming across like a different supervillain doing something.
I mean, there's probably a giant supervillain calendar.
Everyone shares a Google Calendar.
Yeah. I mean, it makes it easy for Batman because he knows like, oh, Sundays are Joker days.
Yeah.
Look for clown-related incidents. Every other Wednesday is a Poison Ivy day. I'm just going to go to the botanical gardens and wait.
They got to make sure to separate out Joker and Riddler. They have like the most days apart. It's like, like Riddler gets Wednesdays and Joker gets Sundays. They need a good amount of time between them.
Right.
too much tread.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they try and make it as streamlined as possible.
Yeah.
You have New Recruit Friday, so once a month, every Friday, the first Friday of every month, so first Fridays, is a new villain gets a chance to kind of elevate to the super villain level.
Okay, they get a chance to like put their feet, like dip their toe in, see if they can handle.
Yeah, so that's Batman's first Fridays.
But like, I'm just thinking, like, how has that not happened? Like, I would actually love to see that episode of Batman and like Nightwing or Robin are on a case and they're trying to solve one thing and they just stumble upon an entirely different thing going on and they're like, oh, I guess do we just deal with this now?
I would love that idea. I'd also love an episode where the villains don't coordinate and like two villains accidentally go for the same heist.
Yes.
And they're like competing with each other before so the episode would just be them competing with each other before Batman shows up.
This sounds like the sort of thing you would expect to come from this show.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised we never got it. We did never get it, right? Have we forgotten an episode that did this?
Think
I don't
so.
feel like we have.
No, because we've had team up episodes, but it wouldn't really be a team up.
No, it's more just like they're competing for the same job.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same heist or whatever. They just run into each other. I don't know. I'm shocked we never got that. That would have been really fun.
Would be like
to see.
Like I see the one that I imagine in my head is like there's a beautiful cat sculpture inside the botanical garden, and both Poison Ivy and Catwoman are like going at it to try and get it.
Oh wait, hang on. The Batman did this.
Okay.
There was an episode where Penguin and Catwoman were both trying to steal.
Oh, yes.
something.
This is like the one episode that I've seen.
Yeah, like it had something about it that was bird related, something about it that was like cat related. I don't know. It was like a cat eating a bird or some shit, whatever it is. But okay, that did exist somewhere.
Okay.
So that has existed, but we have yet to find. There's yet to be a thing, as far as I know, unless it happened in Brave and the Bold, where Batman is on a case and just runs into another case, completely unrelated to what's going on.
I don't think so. That's kind of how they do the cold opens.
Oh, right.
But that's more of like he's ending a case before he's about to start his next one.
Exactly. See, I want to see that. We'll write it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Stop now. We're just
Send
gonna
it out to Bruce Timm. Bruce,
save us.
Have ideas. Bring it back.
But I think the one thing, because the whole concept is really silly with all the animals running around. The one thing I did think it did very well was show the tension between Batman and Nightwing. Because even right from the moment Nightwing shows up, Batman's giving him shit like, "Oh, I can hear you coming from 2 rooftops away."
Yeah,
and just they are super.
He has such unachievable expectations.
Yeah. Yeah, just that Batman is showing no warmth at all to him. Like, even when he just keeps showing up in his house, he just stands there in the shadows, not saying anything.
Alarm.
Yeah, just mostly speaking with his slightly narrowing eyes. I really like those moments because it does show they have this very weird dynamic where they still work very well together and they're still after the same thing. And Batman's still like, "Are you coming along?" Like, he still wants him around, but it's almost like he's constantly reminding him, like, "You dick.
Yeah.
You left. You left me behind.
I brought you in so no one else could leave me.
Yeah. I don't know.
And you go to college? How dare you?
South America. It's a whole thing, actually. There's a whole comic about that.
Were you guys in South America?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Part of his Nightwing training. We'll get to it when we get to Old Wounds.
Okay.
We'll talk about it then. Yeah. But I thought, fun twist having it be Hatter. And I always like when Hatter's around. Fun little moments of like sexual frisson between Dick and Miranda. Good stuff between Nightwing and Batman, but it was just a little bit too childish all the way through.
Yeah, the ending scene especially, I didn't quite
Timm
get
shoveling shit
because even Miranda makes like a snide comment about Dick being wealthy now.
Yeah, someone has to work for a living.
And he focuses on like he tortures Timm to deal with that.
Well, I don't have to work for a living, but he can.
Yeah.
Well, because there's even another joke in there when Dick shows up at his apartment, he's going through his mail. There's an envelope. It's like, "Oh, Dick Grayson, you may have won $1 million." He just kind of like dismisses it.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Which actually, that does raise a question. If Dick left, if he is Bruce's more or less estranged ward, where does his money come from? Like, I mean, unless is he sitting on like an inheritance from his family? But I imagine they probably wouldn't have had that much money. I mean, they're circus performers.
I always assumed Batman or Bruce was still funding him.
But I don't see Dick leaving and then deciding that he's still going to let Bruce pay for him.
Unless, like, in the wardship, that's a word.
Yes, that's what it's called. You sign your wardship contract when he shows up and he's 8 years old.
Yeah.
The wardee and the warder.
If maybe, like, when he turned 18, he got some shares of Wayne Enterprise, being the now quote unquote son of Bruce Wayne.
There could be something there. There could have been an insurance settlement from his parents' death.
Yeah.
Possibly. With, I guess, the circus, maybe? But I feel like that wouldn't have... I feel like that would have bankrupted the circus if that happens. That can't really be the case.
Yeah.
And he didn't get money from Zuko, obviously, because
Right.
Zuko was on the run. So I don't know.
I mean, we're forgetting the clear answer.
Male stripper?
Exactly.
I mean, if you've got it, flaunt it.
There's really no other reason for him to have that mullet other than to have women pull on it for his attention.
Yeah, and he can twirl it behind his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and you know what? I'm now on board for the mullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a girl in my in my boxing class the other day.
With a mullet?
I mean, no, she just had a ponytail. So I guess technically,
No, ponytails are not mullets. No.
but she had this like I don't remember what she was doing. Oh, we were practicing weaves, and she had the most perfect hypnotizing figure eight with her,
Really?
with her ponytail. I was lost for like 30 seconds just watching her ponytail go in a perfect figure eight formation.
I bet you she can also draw perfect circles on a chalkboard.
Ugh, don't even
Yeah.
joke about that. That's an impossible task.
Oh my god. Yeah, I gotta say though, kind of a meh episode.
Yeah, it's forgettable, but it was also like I wanted it to be so much because we do have such a strong connection to Robin's Reckoning,
Yeah.
and the Young Justice episode. Like we have such high expectations for any time we get kind of a Dick's Past episode.
Yeah. Dick's of Futures Past.
Dick's of Futures Past.
Yeah.
No, it seems about everything. Oh, the fire breather, that was kind of cool.
Oh, that was kind of fun.
It does like being older and understanding how some of those circus tricks work. It does kind of make it a little less threatening.
Like which one?
Like fire breathing. Do you know how people fire breathe?
Yeah, they just like spit lighter fluid.
Yeah,
out of their
exactly.
mouth. Yeah.
And so seeing
How did you think they did it?
as a kid, I didn't know.
But you literally see them spray liquid out of their mouth.
As a kid, I had no concept of how that worked. I thought that was just. Don't look at me like I was an idiot child. You probably didn't know when you were 8.
Did you think they were like human dragons?
Yes. Absolutely, yes. Because especially in this version, you don't see them. They just open their mouth and fire comes out.
You know, I really wish I could have met 8-year-old Cameron.
Don't act like you're so superior. I'm sure when you were 7 or 8, you had no idea how this worked.
No, I knew how it worked because I had seen Batman Returns.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I guess.
You can see the liquid coming out of her mouth. Is it him?
I don't remember.
Doesn't matter, does it?
My memory was not from Batman Returns. It was from the opening of Triple X.
Oh, when Rammstein is playing the
Yes.
concert, playing Firefly.
I love that. I watched that scene recently just because I love that. Like that's such a pump up song.
It is a really good pump up song. I should go watch the original Triple X again.
Just the opening scene gives you everything you need.
It's absolutely true. What was your opinion of Triple X2 State of the Union?
Left a lot to be desired.
It did leave a lot to be desired. Yeah, I mean, it had Willem Dafoe as a bad guy, on the nose, but always good.
Yeah.
And the one thing I did like about it is that in it they drive the Cobra concept car.
What I don't know.
So back in 2004, I want to say. So right before they did the major facelift on the Mustang, when they went back to the retro style Mustang, that same year or the years surrounding it, Ford also did a couple other concept cars. They did a Cobra, which had a V10 engine. They actually built the real car, so that car is in State of the Union. They did a Bronco concept, which looked like the old Bronco ones. Gorgeous. I think they're actually doing a new Bronco, which is kind of cool. They did a version of the Shelby Daytona, which kind of looks like a Ferrari Daytona. And then that concept car, like the GX1, actually they had it at the Peterson. One of the last times that I went there. Gorgeous car. Like beautiful, like bright metallic paint. It looks like it's perfectly reflective. Like it would blind you if you drove down the street. They did this really gorgeous, I think it's called like the Ford 49 or something like that. This beautiful, like old-fashioned sedan thing. It was fantastic.
I'm sure.
Great.
You see what I'm doing here, though, Chris? This is me trying to be engaged in your topics that bore the shit out of me. Unlike you, where you're texting when I'm trying to talk about anime or other things.
I mean, no one gives a shit about anime. Everyone clearly gives a shit about 15-year-old Ford concepts that didn't pan out to real cars.
Plugging the museum that no one even knows about out here.
Everyone knows about the Petersons.
I'm sure.
Everyone's driven past it. It's that weird squiggly red building.
Yeah.
It's that pasta sauce building.
I told you what I thought it was when I first saw it, right?
What?
I was driving down La Brea with someone in my car, and they're like, oh, it's the parking garage. Seeing it as a joke for a car museum.
Yeah.
I had no idea they were joking. And so until I met you, I honestly thought that was like the fanciest parking garage. And I told everyone that came to visit, I told them, like, this is a super fancy parking garage.
I mean, to be fair, there is a really fancy parking garage adjacent to the museum.
I'm sure.
So you're not entirely wrong.
Yeah. Well, well, because across the street is LACMA.
Yeah.
And the tar pit. And so I thought it was just like the fancy museum you parked at to go there.
Yeah. Well, and soon to be the Academy Museum as well.
Yeah.
Super excited for that as well.
I don't know what that is.
The Academy of Motion Pictures.
Oh, Academy Museum. Okay.
Academy Museum.
You said it fast, and I heard Cadbury Museum.
The Cadbury Museum, you can go through and see the labels of every Cadbury egg ever made.
Wow, I'd go see that.
Yeah. It's a big museum. Gets a little monotonous, though, at a certain point.
I'm sure it gets a lot of Instagram followers, though.
It does, but
or a lot of
the real
Instagram
frustrating thing is at the end of
influencers.
the tour, there are no Cadbury eggs for you to eat. So it's really just an exercise in self-control.
Yeah.
And just punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Just sit there and just look at chocolate for 3 hours straight and then get none of it.
Yeah. I mean, they'll give you like an off-brand.
Oh, God, yeah. Badbury.
Yeah.
All right. In Brightest Day,
In Blackest Night,
no evil shall escape our sight.
Let those who worship evils might.
Beware our power.
Green Lantern's light. I'm proud of you.
I actually do know. I knew that whole thing.
Do you know the other oaths?
There are what? There are other oaths?
Every ring has an oath.
Oh,
In fearful day and raging nights, with
Fuck
strong hearts
me.
full, our souls ignite when all is lost in war of light. Look to the stars for hope burns bright.
which one's that one?
Blue Lantern.
Okay. Do you know all of them?
No.
Do you just know those two?
Yeah. I know orange because orange is just mine.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Oh,
because there's only one
fantastic.
orange lanterns. Larfleeze.
Yeah, he killed the rest of them.
Because that's how greedy he was.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Do the Red Lanterns have an oath?
They do. And Crimson Blood. Oh God, what is it? I just remember it ends with like, and you will die. Give me half a second. Red Lantern.
In crimson blood, like cherry pie, piss us off, and then you'll die.
Yeah,
Did
there
it.
you go. You
Figured
killed
it out.
With blood and rage, crimson
here we
red, ripped from the corpse so freshly dead, together with our hellish hate, you will burn. That is your fate. Like that's
Pretty,
awesome.
That's pretty badass,
Yeah,
actually. Yeah.
that's really good.
I'd get that as a tramp stamp.
I mean, I'd get the emblem.
Yeah, as a tramp stamp.
Yeah. I mean, their
We'll
planet
stand
used to be
next
my
to each other, and
Yeah.
then people can get the whole thing.
Yeah. Their planet used to be my username for a lot of video games.
What was their planet name?
Yasmalt.
Wow.
Well, because Odin was always taken, and that
Wait, Oa?
Odin, Odym. That's the Blue Lantern planet.
Oh, okay.
Because usually usernames have to be at least 4 letters, so I could
okay.
never do Oa.
I would always just do Lord, because I'm original.
Yep.
So original.
Well,
Although to be fair, when I was going around just destroying people in Halo 3, because that was my peak video game time, was Halo 3. Pretty badass, just going around slaughtering people.
Well, what was your username?
Lord. That was like my gamer tag up the top. So
Was
you
it
could-
really? You were able to snag Lord for everything?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
I mean, like, my Xbox handle was not Lord, but, like, you could, like, do the tag up at the top
oh,
of your
no, I
character
was
tag.
asking your Xbox handle.
No, it's not Lord. God, I wish.
What is your Xbox handle?
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
I want to know how your brain worked back then. Like, what was your AIM's usernames?
No, I don't want people to know. They're, like, trying to add me on, like, Xbox, and I don't ever play it anymore.
What was your old AIM username?
I know.
'Cause no one's going to add you on AIM at this point.
Did I had an AIM.
You're not that much older than me. You had an aim.
I had an aim. What would it have been? I feel like at one point, God, at one point, one of the usernames I used was Mustang Lord.
Amazing. So good. I'm so glad your car enthusiasm has stuck around your whole life. I mean, mine weren't much better. My very first one was Cameo Dude.
That's pretty good, though.
It was not.
That's a play on words. I like it.
Well, because I also had no idea what a cameo was at the time.
So why'd you choose Cameo?
Because it was a shortened version of my name, and I forgot I had other letters.
Well, no, technically it's a longer version of your name.
Cameo?
Yeah.
How many letters is my name, Chris?
Oh, I thought it was like a playoff of Cam, not Cameron.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
So did you just like take
Yes.
the consonants out of your...
Yes.
Goddamn.
100%. And then on RuneScape, I was Cameo Dude 200. Not because Cameo Dude was taken, just because 200 sounded cooler.
It did sound much cooler. Yeah. I mean, it's not a good username unless there's extra numbers slapped onto the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that transitioned into Cartoon Kid, because for clear reasons.
Yeah. Wait, was it K
No.
for cartoon?
No, I spelled it
Was
correctly.
it C for kid? That'd be
No.
Sid, wouldn't it?
Cartoon Sid?
Yeah.
No, I spelled it correctly. My friend Dylan, who had to one-up me, that piece of shit. I don't think he listens anymore. The day after I snagged Cartoon Kid, he was the asshole that snagged Cartoon King.
Oh.
And I hate him for it. And that is the day our friendship ended.
Does he even like cartoons? He
does.
Just to fuck with you. Okay, that would have been that much better though.
He does. We spent sitting at the cool kid table as we did. We'd spend our lunch breaks in middle school playing cartoon trivia with each other.
Okay.
Just like trying to outsmart the other person with any kind of, basically what I do now with everyone, but no one is playing. No one knows they're playing, but I'm still playing.
That's fine. You're still having a great time playing by yourself.
Because I'm winning.
Yeah. So do you have any like Green Lantern themed username stuff now?
I mean, I have Yasmalt on a few things. It jumps between Yasmalt, Elrin Frovos, which was my when I tried to write a fantasy series in middle school and in high school.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure it was, but like it's still cool you tried.
Mm-hmm. And the main character was Elrin Frovos. Or the planet was Frovadim, and then I shortened that to Frovos for
Okay.
the name, because, what else do you do with your time?
So his name was Elron.
Elrin.
Elrin.
Ellrin.
Elrin Frovaden.
Frovos.
Frovo. Okay.
Yes. And then that transitioned to Kalti, Kaltxi,
Which is?
Navian for hello.
You're like you every time I set you up unintentionally, you just like spike the ball of like just self-shaming nerdiness.
That's kind of been the goal for my whole life. It's just like setting people's expectations for how nerdy I am and then trying to push it one step further. So it was called T for a bit, and then that transitioned to Yasmalt.
Did anyone ever?
Nope. Not a single person. I told you about when I was at Disney World
and they did.
And I tried, because for people who don't know, there's a Pandora area at Animal Kingdom now, which is great. One of the most amazing areas they have there. But all of the cast members have to say "call T" when you walk around because that's hello. And so when I approached one of the cast members to buy something, they said "call T," and I replied "call T Loué Fupam Thrak," which is "hello, how's your day going?" And they just kind of apologized, like, "I'm sorry, they only taught us call T." And I'm like, great. I was so excited to finally have a conversation in Navian, and I couldn't.
If it makes you feel any better, at one point in my life, I could read Kryptonian.
That's awesome.
I have forgotten.
I also printed out the alphabet and tried to learn. I mean, I never made it that far. If you watch the first 2 seasons of Big Bang Theory, I didn't see that as a comedy. I saw that as a goal to hit.
Oh, I thought you said documentary.
No, that's what I like. The first season is like what I aspired to be because I was like right when I was coming into my nerdy self.
Yeah.
Like that was my aspiration. Was
Well, that's
to
back
be
when
like,
that show was actually for nerds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Now it's for my parents.
It's for the people who associate with nerds.
Yeah. Oh, they don't associate with me.
It's like, oh, this must be what Chris's life is like.
Yeah. They're like, oh, they're just so happy to see me get on a plane. Like, oh god, we can like let the nerdiness go away now.
Yeah. So Green Lantern
Okay, so
and Brightest Day.
So,
I
I mean-
loved it. I love this episode.
I really enjoyed this too. And I mean, so the plot is basically just the plot of how Hal Jordan became Green Lantern, but it's swapped out for Kyle Rayner.
The better Green Lantern.
So why have you always loved Kyle Rayner most?
I mean, mainly because he's a comic artist.
Right.
Like growing up, one, he has virtually the exact same backstory as me. Raised by a single mother who always was kind of the social outcast who was attracted to art over people.
Okay.
Which is my growing up story.
Yeah.
And then he kind of evolved into a struggling artist, which then he became a Green Lantern, and he was kind of praised and hated by some because of his overly constructive constructs. Because he would make constructs of like Superman to fight next to him, just because like people would be scared of Superman, or like
Oh, and I guess because he was an artist, he could be more precise with his constructs.
Well, he would go beyond like the giant boxing glove and missiles, where like he would make like anime characters, and he would take the things from his drawing. Like he had his own comic series he had, and he would make the characters from his series fight with him.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so he was more creative with his powers over the other people.
So is like the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern,
And he also has a
comics-
cool suit.
He does have a cool suit. Like, were those the comics you probably read the most of?
Not really. I read more Hal stories.
Okay.
Because I think my biggest Green Lantern reading was during the Blackest Night, because that was like my peak comic reading age.
Okay.
Or time. So reading the Blackest Night series and the Brightest Day series. And then he has a small role in Infinite Crisis. And then there's a series which I read right after New 52 started called The New Guardians, which I briefly talked to you about.
Oh, right.
Where he was the only lantern. He's still the only lantern in existence to wield the power of all 7 lanterns.
That's how he became the White Lantern.
No.
God, we just had this
We would have just had this conversation.
I wasn't paying attention. I was
That's
looking up
fine.
news.
No, the White Lantern was when he was in Brightest Day.
Oh, okay.
There was
Did Brightest Day precede Blackest Night?
yes.
That would make sense now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because Blackest Night was all about Black Hand and the Black Lanterns taking over.
Yeah.
So after Final Crisis, everyone was dead.
Right.
And so Black Hand had the ability to resurrect everyone as a Black Lantern member.
Okay.
So everyone became evil, except
Nice.
for a handful, which leads into the point I was trying to make earlier, which is super fascinating, and you were brushing it off like it's nothing, where all of the Justice League members got to be Lantern members, Lantern Corps members. So
when did I brush that off?
when you were looking up news and you said that's boring.
Is this on air?
No, this was like 5 minutes before we started recording. I'm calling you out. Mira,
Oh, okay.
Aquaman's wife.
Yeah. I wasn't paying attention.
She got a Red Lantern ring because she's super angry all the time. Not Sinestro. Lex Luthor got the orange ring.
Because he's greedy.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Scarecrow got the Sinestro Corps ring, which
Yellow.
almost went to Batman. But it went to
Wait, did Batman once wield a Sinestro Corps ring?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think in an Elseworld story he did.
Okay, because I don't have seen that before.
Obviously, we had Green Lantern. Flash got the Blue Lantern ring because he's awesome.
Wait, what's blue again?
Hope.
Right.
For Hope Burns Bright. It's the last line of it.
Yeah.
The Atom got Compassion. He got the purple ring.
Okay.
And then Wonder Woman got Love.
Pink.
Yes. Star Sapphire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I knew that.
And it's so cool. It was so cool seeing them all line up
That
together.
actually does sound really cool.
It was so cool.
I'm gonna look this up.
Look at I think it's the cover of issue 11 of Blackest Night. I think that has everyone.
What, power rings? Would that be?
Lantern rings, yeah.
Oh, lantern rings. That might be a way of doing it. This sounds actually kind of awesome.
It's super cool.
Justice League lantern rings. Images. Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, okay. You know, I think I have seen this before, actually. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's like blue Flash and orange Lex. Oh, yeah. That Wonder Woman Star Sapphire combo is interesting. Okay, that is actually pretty cool. All right, I'll give that to you, man.
Yeah, it's super cool.
All right, fine.
Okay, we should talk about the episode for a half minute.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
And then I'll talk about Saint Walker because he's my favorite.
Yeah, so this is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. It is the exact. They just did Hal Jordan's story for Kyle Rayner.
One of the things that I thought might happen here was when the ring. So yeah, when Abin crashes and dies, and he sends his ring off to go find a worthy successor, and it heads towards the Daily Planet. Now I knew Superman wasn't there at the time, but I was kind of expecting a moment where it was heading towards him, and it happened to bump into Jordan instead. Not Jordan, Kyle Rayner instead. So
interesting you say that, because do you know the history of how Kyle got the ring?
I did look it up, but I'll let you say it.
Okay. He was kind of in the right place at the right time. Yeah. Ganthet, the Guardian, one of the 12 Guardians, he basically said when the ring went to him, I guess you'll do.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
which was changed later.
It was changed later. He's like, oh, I guess I chose well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because what I read was that this was right after Parallax. This is right after Hal Jordan, his home city of Coast City, right, was blown up by a nuclear blast from Cyborg Superman, I think. And he basically succumbed to Parallax, became the Parallax, or just became Parallax. And he killed all the Guardians and all of the Lanterns.
Yeah.
And the last surviving Guardian, Ganthet, gave Kyle Rayner the ring. And that we never really learned what his reason was for giving it to Kyle Rayner. Like you said, it was just like he happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, there was something I read after that, which kind of gave a little more.
Oh, I did read. We probably read the same Wikipedia article today.
Oh, 100%. Chosen to. This was the point they tried to adapt in the movie, but it was not done well.
Yeah.
He was chosen not because he was fearless like Hal, but because he had the ability to overcome fear.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
That's so awesome.
See, this is, I mean, I keep giving you shit for this, but generally this is one of the reasons why I feel like you should read New Frontier, because Hal Jordan is the central character in it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, now, why did you mention that before?
Yeah.
Now I'll read it, for sure.
Fucking Christ.
I wrote down, while reading, I wrote down another comic I wanted to read.
It's the origin story of Hal Jordan's Green Lantern, but it's based around him being part of the space race.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
Oh, God damn it, Cameron.
It's fine. So Sinestro comes to Earth hunting for the ring.
Yeah.
Kyle gets it. Also, did you notice when the guy tries to at the very beginning when the guy tries to steal
Jimmy's
camera, they modeled it after Guy Gardner.
Well, then it's interesting too because later, and this is a really obvious reference, but later on when Kyle, I keep wanting to say Hal, when Kyle is fighting Sinestro, he crashes into a plane, and it's like Colonel Jordan, Hal Jordan's plane.
Was that a little too obvious?
Well, one, very obviously, the link around it for a long time, but I think what then becomes interesting is that means that person exists in this world, and he was deemed less worthy than Kyle Rayner to receive the ring.
Well, I feel like he already was a Lantern.
I don't think so. Because I know there's a JLU when like the timeline is starting to break down that episode, and at one point Jon Stewart just swaps out and becomes Hal Jordan.
White.
I think that was more like it's a fun reference, but I think that was the idea of like the timeline, like things were like phasing in and out of different dimensions, and like that was part of a timeline where Hal Jordan got it instead of Kyle Rayner or Jon Stewart.
Okay.
Because I don't think we never actually get Jon Stewart's origin of becoming a Green Lantern, do we? I know we find out eventually that Kyle Rayner has been off planet at Oa training. We never learn why John Stewart is there, or if he was Green Lantern before.
The only kind of origin we get of him is the Justice League two-parter where he goes to Space Court.
Okay.
Space Court.
Yeah,
where the Manhunters kind of
the
try to go
Manhunter
blow up
episode.
Oa.
Yeah, because that's like the kind of origin of the Green Lantern Corps in the DCAU. So I guess the running theory must be that is John Stewart already a Green Lantern by the time that Kyle Rayner inherits the ring?
I would. I want to say yes.
I feel like that's the only explanation.
But it's kind of the Flash thing. No, it's not the Flash thing. It's a thing of like Superman would know if there was a Green Lantern on Earth.
But what if he got the ring and then he was off planet like the entire time?
I don't know. I'm gonna say Kyle had it first. Just so Superman already knows who the Green Lantern is when he meets Hal. When he meets John.
All right. Well, then this is a call out to James and Ted over at Watchtower Database, and also like Maddie Washburn, who does all the timeline stuff. Can you tell us? Like, how is this supposed to line up?
Please let us know.
Yeah. Who was Green Lantern first? Kyle Rayner. Or what's the other guy's name? John Stewart.
John Stewart. Comedian, actor, John Stewart.
Director.
Yeah. Documentarian.
Yes.
John Stewart.
Entertainer extraordinaire, John Stewart. And also, like, this is also introduction to Sinestro, obviously. And he makes a number of appearances again in Justice League.
Yes.
He comes
sporting
back.
his wonderful Super Friends suit, which I love.
I know. I love they did keep his suit. And this is something that always confuses me, especially in this episode, because they're drawn so similar. But he and Abin Sur look like they should be from the same planet. I guess they are not.
No, I think they might be from the same sector.
Yeah, but they're from
not the same
different.
planet.
Well, I guess they couldn't be from the same sector because Sinestro was the Green Lantern of a different sector than Abin Sur.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, but they do look really similar. And I guess in post-crisis, Sinestro was married to Abin Sur's sister. I think he was like his brother-in-law or something.
I don't remember that well.
I don't know.
Sorry.
But one of the details that I did love was that we see that Sinestro, through the course of this episode, his constructs are far more complex than Kyle Rayner's, because obviously Sinestro's had a lot more experience with this.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fun.
I appreciate that. But the one thing that kind of always upsets me with villain constructs is they were very set in Earth. And I would have loved more space, like lasers and...
Something that felt a little more alien.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he shoots missiles, and he has that drill thing. That was kind of the only, like, thing I didn't recognize.
Oh, like strapped Superman into a drill and then stuck it down into the earth?
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
That was really cool.
Yeah. I do have a question for you, though. What are the rules of the Green Lantern costume?
What do you mean?
So obviously you get the ring and then the costume appears. So is the costume a construct?
Yes.
Okay. So then why is it that when Abin Sur dies, he goes all Obi-Wan Kenobi and his costume gets left behind?
I have no idea. I've never seen that iteration before.
I mean, I know why they did it. So that way when the Sinestro shows up, he's like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
Because there's where his body should be. In that Green Lantern suit serving as a chalk outline.
Yeah.
But because I always thought it was a construct. Because even in Justice League, when I think season 1 finale, the 3-parter where they go back to World War II, and the battery goes out, his costume disappears. Interesting.
Yeah, almost always it's a construct, because usually when they take the ring off, that's when the outfit kind of...
Because there's that great trick that Rayner pulls on Sinestro, where he's like, okay, I'm going to give you the ring, and then it blows up in his face like a flash grenade.
I loved that.
Surprise. And yeah.
Like I said, he's the most creative Lantern.
He is creative, and I liked that they gave him a moment where that is something that he would think to do that I don't think the other Lanterns would think of.
Right.
Because it is kind of comic booky. And, it starts out with him showing Jimmy his comic books. That's what I'm trying to do. Pam, Zowie.
Yes. Sorry.
I know. It's late.
I know.
It's stupid late.
It's almost 11. Oh my God, that was amazing. Written 4 times my
Oh,
notes.
I am sure. And I do have to say, whenever I hear the oath, it does give me chills a little bit.
It does. I did it with him in the episode.
Surprising no one.
I know.
One of the things so we get a little bit of backstory with the Guardians because they like find Superman and pull him in and basically just give him the exposition so we know what's going on.
Yeah.
So by the very end, Kyle asks them the question of, why me? And the Guardians don't really answer. Right? What happened? I just watched this. I should know. They don't really answer. But doesn't like Superman stand up and? Oh no, they don't really answer. Kyle's like, oh, why would you pick me? Like I'm just this guy who's trying to do blah blah. I'm like, this nice thing. Superman's like, you sound like the perfect fit. Does he?
No.
Does he really though?
But that's also a big story component for Kyle, is he never felt worthy.
Yeah, but that never pays off.
Yeah, I know.
In any way in this episode. See, because when I said that earlier that I was expecting the ring to be heading towards Superman, what I thought would have been interesting is if we got it would probably have to be a 2-part for this to work. But in the course of the story, the ring was going for Superman, and it happens to hit Kyle instead, and he puts it on, and then the whole thing actually does become about him feeling like he's actually worthy of this. Like he finds out, like the lowest point is him finding out that this ring was intended for Superman.
Well, I mean, that's kind of Hal Jordan's story. Initially, when the ring came to Earth, it was going to go to Batman. Right?
That would have been the greatest thing ever.
But then it was intercepted by Hal.
Okay.
In some iterations.
Okay, yeah, I think that's like a more modern version of that, I would imagine.
Yeah. And yeah, it was the same with the Fear ring. It was initially thought to go to Batman, but the ring couldn't find Batman on Earth because he was time traveling, obviously.
Yeah.
So it went to Scarecrow.
Is that when he was like Pilgrim Batman?
Yeah.
Nice.
The best 6-part series ever.
I need to read that at some point.
It's so bad.
It looks ridiculous. I'm so on board for
Caveman Batman, Pilgrim Batman, Pirate Batman.
Oh, Pirate Batman.
Pirate Batman is amazing.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm going to Pirate Times this weekend. Okay, next weekend. Should dress as Pirate Batman.
You should.
Stay on brand. All times.
Was it you and I that were joking that you need to dress as...
You made this joke, yeah.
As someone who's super excited to go to medieval times, not realizing they're not going to medieval times.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, because you mentioned at WonderCon, and like someone was standing next to us, stopped, and was like, "Oh yeah, that's a really good idea." Yeah, I think I did like this episode a lot. I think it's very clean, super efficient. It's a lot of fun. You actually believe the stakes. Like Sinestro is a genuine threat for Superman. We believe that Superman would get incapacitated by him
because it's magic.
Yeah. It's not really magic.
I know, but I mean, that's what Superman is weak against is non-human things.
Yeah.
Non-human explained things. You know what I mean.
Sure. I think it, as much as I would have been interested to see something a little bit deeper going on there, I think it was fun and introduced something completely different enough so that I wasn't like,
well, so my question for this episode is, what is it like for people that don't know the basic story of Green Lantern? Like, is this too much going on for someone who doesn't know the story?
Because this is pretty much my first introduction to Green Lantern.
But you know the names of everything already. You know who Sinestro is. You know what the Guardians are.
Not when I would have seen this back in '98.
That's true.
When it came out, like I know, like this is pretty much my introduction to Green Lantern.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it absolutely was. And I think I maybe knew a bit about him because I didn't really read a lot of DC comics, especially when I was a kid. This was more my thing, was watching the show. And I'm pretty sure I know I had like Kyle Rayner Green Lantern toys, typical 90s toys where it's just like way overly muscled and like their arms are like way out like this and he's pointing the ring. I remember having that toy, which would have been probably before this show, but I think I probably learned about Green Lantern, like how that all works through this, and then learned more later on when we saw it more in Justice League. So no, I don't think so. I think it's just enough to be like, oh yeah, they're space cops.
Okay.
It's powered by this lantern. Like they hit all the major beats.
They did.
There was a lot of exposition that never felt clunky, which is impressive because that's often, especially in Superman, one of the big problems.
Right. Yeah, because my major introduction was the animated movie First Flight.
Okay,
which
yeah.
kind of gave me like the basic synopsis of Abin Sur fighting someone else, dies. Hal gets it. We meet the kind of key lanterns. You meet Kilowog, Tomar Ray, who make an appearance in this episode, made me really happy. You meet Sinestro. You learn about the sectors. You learn about the lantern. So like that was my crash course.
Okay.
And then there was a summer, which I want to do this again because I thought about it again recently, and it seems like a smart thing to do, especially for the podcast. I spent a month one summer. Every day I would just pull up a random DC wiki page and just read it top to bottom.
Oh my God.
And just learn about some random character for the day. And it was great. Like that was definitely like my peak. It's not my peak because I still haven't hit my peak nerddom yet.
No.
I mean, probably Call T was my peak nerddom.
I think getting called out by a Disney employee for getting called out by someone who works in Pandora for being too into Pandora.
Yes.
I think that was probably your peak moment.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really fun time, and it like really helped me grow because I also didn't have anyone to talk nerd with at this time.
Yeah.
So it really like helped me grow my knowledge faster without actually having to open up a stupid book.
Hey, don't worry, man. You can talk nerdy to me.
I know.
I know. That's what I'm here for, buddy.
I like it.
Yeah.
I can't go full out though. I can't be. It's not like Matt.
Yeah. No. Just steer clear of anime, and I'll be totally fine.
Just music, Pokemon.
I did come across this fun little bit of trivia. I don't know if you saw this as well. Did you see who Kyle Rayner was originally modeled after?
No.
The legendary Keanu Reeves.
I did know that. Yes. I forgot about that.
That made me so goddamn happy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was reading a bit about him. It's like, okay, I figured we'll talk broader Green Lantern maybe another point when we get into like JLU, but here we'll talk Kyle Rayner. That I guess when he first became Green Lantern, he just didn't take it very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was an incident that made him take it seriously, which I knew of this before. I didn't realize this was the context, though, which is when he comes home and finds his girlfriend dead and disembodied and shoved into his fridge.
Yep. Yeah.
But don't worry, because the death of a female character inspired him to
take
a
seriously.
new chapter in his life and move to New York and become a totally new guy in her honor.
Yep.
Fuck me, man. It's real bad.
Yeah, I know. But he is one of the cool things that you probably read the same thing was of all the Green Lanterns, he's the only one that kind of has Batman's respect.
Yeah, I did read that too, which is pretty awesome.
Which kind of goes back to the overcoming fear versus being fearless.
Yeah,
he's willing to learn from him. He's willing to accept he's made mistakes and learn from them.
Yeah,
where Hal and John and especially Guy.
Yeah, well, because all those three, they're known for being very arrogant, and I've never really seen any aspect of that with Kyle Rayner.
Right.
He seems like he's a little bit more humble.
Mm-hmm. And it also makes sense. That's why Ganthet chose him. Because Ganthet is also the only Lantern, one, who grows his hair out because he's the cool Lantern. He's the cool Guardian.
He's got a mullet.
He does.
Yeah.
But also he's the only one that kind of doesn't always look at the big picture. He looks at the details and at the small things. And he cares about the people and not just what's going on around them.
I didn't know that there was that much detail to each of the Guardians.
Yes.
I didn't realize they had that much personality.
Only a handful of them.
That makes sense.
If Ganthet is kind of the one who makes all the cool stuff. So surprisingly enough, he's also the one that created the Blue Lanterns.
Of course he did.
Which is why I know his name.
Now, in this episode, there are 5 Guardians. Is that the case in the comics too?
12.
12 in the... Okay.
Because the 13th one was overcome by Sinestro. So the 13th one, whose name I don't remember, powers the Sinestro Coral Lantern.
Okay, that makes sense.
There's pretty much one lantern associated with each, or there's one Guardian associated with each core.
Wait, so there are only 13 Guardians, and amongst them, all the different lanterns
Or
the different cores are distributed?
It's complicated.
No shit.
I don't know that as well, but pretty much every core has a Guardian.
Okay.
Some of them were taken from the Guardians of the Universe, and some of them were just like that race.
Oh, okay.
So Ganthet is the one that created Blue Lantern. Sid, I'm gonna call her Sid.
Sure.
Who's in love with Ganthet.
Oh.
She created Compassion and Star Sapphire.
Okay.
And then I don't remember the ones who made the bad ones.
Because they're just less fun.
They are.
Now, I remember last time we were talking Green Lantern, we were trying to figure out why it is that there are so many 2814 lanterns. So the best answer I could come up with is apparently there's actually 2 lanterns per sector.
Yes, they changed that.
Okay.
That's newer, as in like 90s.
Okay, but I guess that 2814 has 4 of them. And the 2 primaries are Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, at least now.
Yes.
And then the backups are Kyle Rayner and Guy Gardner, who then live on Oa. And like
Well,
have
Kyle
special
also became an
attacks.
Alpha Ranger.
What is that? What is?
It's like the higher level
Okay.
Green Lanterns. So that is also what Tomar Ray is and what Abin Sur was.
Oh,
Was
okay.
an Alpha Lantern, not an Alpha Ranger. That's a Power Ranger.
So when Tomar Ray was but if you're an alpha, then you also still in charge of your own sector, or do you get promoted out of that?
You have a sector, but you mainly deal with OA stuff.
So then when Abin Sur was an Alpha Ranger?
Lantern. Sorry, Alpha Ranger is a Power Ranger.
Okay. When he was an Alpha Lantern, who
Crossing my nerd streams
did
here.
he have? Was there another 2814 Green Lantern?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, because Hal Jordan was the first one to be part of the Green Lantern Corps, because Alan Scott was a entirely unrelated
Right.
thing.
Yes, you're correct.
See, I know some things.
You do.
I know a little bit.
We talked a few weeks ago about Tomar Ray used to also be in charge of 2815,
Oh, Superman's.
which is where Krypton was.
Yeah. And he just let it blow up.
Because the Guardians told him to.
He's a dick.
Yeah,
Actually, no, the Guardians are dicks.
they are.
But he's a dick that listened to other dicks.
But like hearing that story, that comic story, it does make you wonder why Superman didn't get the ring on Earth.
Yeah.
Because that was the whole reason they let the planet blow up, was because they foresaw Clark Kent. They saw Kal-El becoming this symbol of hope.
Well, that doesn't smell like a retcon at all.
No.
Wait, then how did he not become the Blue Lantern?
I think he was dead
Sure.
in Blackest Night.
Let's just say he was, because that would totally make sense.
Because I think the only 2 I remember still being alive are Hal and Flash.
Okay.
And Wonder Woman, because she gets Star Sapphire.
Yeah.
But I think the rest of the main Guardian, or the main JLU members are dead.
Okay.
JLA members.
And this is all in Blackest Night?
Yes.
Okay. I should probably read this up, but I've heard that is like a very difficult comic to read, though, because it sprawls across so many things. It's hard to get like the most condensed version of it down.
I mean, there's 12 core issues.
Yeah, but I've heard that you really kind of need to be reading all the tangential stuff too for it all to come together. It makes sense.
They're good.
So do you remember how many issues is Blackest Night total?
So you have the 12 main, and I think there are 4 offshoots which are 3 issues each.
Okay.
Because you have Blackest Night series, you have Green Lantern Corps Blackest Night, which might be more than 3, because that was the other like main one.
Yeah.
And then you had no, I don't think we had a Flash Blackest Night.
A Flashest Night?
Flashest Night, yes. I don't remember anymore.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's one of those.
I own most of the trades
Okay.
for that one, because that was when I actually bought comics.
Yeah, it's something I should try and do at some point. But there's a lot of Batman stuff I'm meaning to read first.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of Gotham Adventure stuff I'm meaning to read before I even get to there. But we should probably move along to talk about the things we've been reading. But do you have any other Green Lantern things we want to talk about within reason?
Oh, so much, but I will save it for
Within reason.
another time.
Okay. So in that case, Cameron, what you been reading, buddy?
I don't read, but
As I love to point out to you.
I know. I've been watching a few things this week. I'll keep it to 2.
Okay.
I binged immediately through Series of Unfortunate Events Season 2.
How is it?
So good.
Yeah.
I forgot how much I love the writing and like the dialogue of that, because it's basically like I see it as Sorkin for kids.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Because it's very like almost emotionless dialogue.
Yeah.
But it's all very smart. And it's all very
Yes.
fast paced and it's all very quippy.
Yeah, snappy and quippy. And I had it on today. I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and I fell asleep within like the first 10 minutes.
Oh, I love this series.
But I
so
also
much.
fell asleep because I was drunk.
Yeah, that's fine. I highly recommend it because I think it's so much fun. It's one of those shows because it's clearly meant for kids.
Yeah.
But it's a show where like adults. I mean, and me, an adult. I'm making many air quotes.
That's fair.
Where it's an older show that you don't remember it's for kids until like a few outstanding moments.
Right, yeah. Because it's just very well made.
It is. And obviously Patrick Warburton is amazing. Nathan Fillion is in this season.
That's right, he is.
Obviously Neil Patrick Harris is amazing in everything that he does.
Yeah.
Especially in this role. He's so good as Count Olaf. Yeah, it's amazing. And then I watched a very odd movie. I'm curious if you've seen this movie before. It's called Midnight Madness.
No, I'm not sure I even heard of it.
I know you've heard of it because it was one of the answers at Disney Trivia that I dragged you to.
Drag's not fair. I had fun with it.
Yeah.
You know, I always love going to a gay bar filled with just screaming woo girls.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, it's a 1980 Disney movie.
Okay.
It's not really Disney. It's a college scavenger hunt. But it was the breakout role for both Michael J. Fox and Pee Wee Herman.
What?
Yeah.
Paul Rubens?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It was both of their first movies.
Wait, so it is a Disney movie?
It is. It doesn't feel like a Disney movie, but
Okay.
it is. And it's like imagine college stereotypes and then watch this movie because they blow them out of proportion.
Oh, really?
It's also he's not as popular. He's very near and dear to my heart, but it was also the breakout role for the guy who voices Mandark in Dexter's Lab.
What's that actor's name?
I have no idea. You would know his voice.
Well, yeah, of
because he
course.
only has one
The
voice.
one voice?
Yeah. And he pops up in a lot of stuff. Like he's still a fairly predominant voice actor.
Okay, let's take a look here.
I also watched War Games where that actor also pops up.
Oh my god,
I'd never seen War Games before.
I've never seen War Games actually. Either.
It's on HBO Go.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, what are we doing here right now?
I mean, I'll watch it again. I was going to show you this off air, but we're already talking about it. So I'll show you
Eddie
this.
Deason.
Yes. And he, like, if you need someone to congratulate on being the nerd stereotype, you can thank this man.
Oh, he's in Greece.
It would not surprise me if he was the nerd in Greece. Because if you just look at him, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe he's like one of the greasers. Like, no. He's the super nerdy guy who's like way too into Rydell High.
Mm-hmm.
God, I love that movie.
But yeah, so Midnight Madness is this very odd citywide scavenger hunt between kind of the different stereotypes. You have like the nerd team, the jock team, the sorority girl team, the clear good guy team, and then the clear bad guy team.
Gotta have
but it's fun. It's fun kind of in LA because it is set in LA and you can kind of guess the clues with them. Like I got one of them.
Okay.
Before they said it in the movie.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, but unfortunately, since it is also based in 1980,
Everything's gone.
Everything's gone. Yeah.
Everything's been bulldozed.
Because they talk about like this, it's like assumedly famous. That's not a word. Whatever.
Presumably
Presumably famous.
That's even the right. No, it's not right either.
Putt putt area.
Okay.
Which I'm sure isn't there anymore. They go to like a pinball arcade, which I'm sure is gone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Then like one of the clues leads them to LAX. And I'm like,
Aw.
I got that one. I guessed that before they did.
It's the only time anyone's ever been excited to hear LAX.
Oh yeah. But it like really wanted me to make a citywide scavenger hunt. But then at the same time realizing one, in a movie, there is no traffic, and two, in the 80s, there probably wasn't as much traffic.
Yeah. Also, I just did that.
You did, but
I
you
just
did.
It was West Hollywood.
Yeah.
But we made it up to Burbank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you made it far.
Yeah, we had to get a photo for the Warner Tower.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but that's... No, this would be like you have to find shit scavenger hunt. Like I would hide stuff in the city.
Oh, like the first person to get there, like
yes.
takes it. Oh yeah, this is like you had to like take photos as clues and we had to like collect things, but there wasn't a finite thing. There wasn't like, oh, only one of this is buried somewhere. You have to get it.
Yes, that is what I want to do.
Of course, that does sound pretty fun actually.
Yeah. And I was trying to think of a condensed version I could do at Disneyland, but I'm still working on it. I'm still working
Yeah,
on
good luck
kinks.
just hiding shit around Disneyland. Yeah,
I think I could do it.
That'll go great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
you'll finally get a chance to see the secret underground security aspects of Disneyland.
I always wanted to see Disney Jail. I'm
Yeah.
curious if they give you a pin. Super exclusive Disney Jail pins.
Thank you for visiting Disney Jail. Here's your exclusive pin.
Yeah.
Now get the hell out of our park and never come back.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll plug those two.
right.
Midnight Madness I just got on Amazon.
Okay.
I just really wanted to watch it.
Oh, that's
It's
pretty fantastic.
a weird movie. I wouldn't like if you have other things on your list, you don't need to watch this.
I
but
have
if
a
like
lot of other things on my list.
yeah, but if like
I need to watch Series of Unfortunate Events because Lost in Space is coming out in just like a matter of days.
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
If it's like if you're just with a bunch of friends that want to watch a wonderfully stereotyped 80s movie, like that's a great one.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is more fun to watch with people
We
than
get
watching by
Shane.
yourself.
We'll go watch it.
Oh, Shane will tear this movie
will
apart.
love it.
But yeah, what have you been watching, listening, reading?
I haven't had much time to do any of those things, but I am almost done with a comic series called Velvet.
Okay. Oh, is this one you got at WonderCon?
No. This is one that I picked up at Meltdown when it was closing down and everything was super
that's
cheap.
right.
But it was like one of the few things I came across that I actually knew that I wanted to read, and they had all of. And it's great. It's Ed Brubaker, great
Okay.
comic writer, and it's just 3 collected volumes. And the general idea is what would have happened if James Bond was killed, and the prime suspect was Moneypenny, who is a fully trained operative in her own right, but just ended up at a desk.
Ooh.
And so she tries to figure out what happened, and the conspiracy just like keeps getting crazier and crazier. And it's all set in 1973, and it like flashes back to the 50s and 60s and stuff. And without going into spoilers, this was kind of a fun twist. But I will say that as it's approaching the end, which I am not finished with yet, but I'm getting close, it starts to incorporate some actual real world events, it's like major real world events at that time, into the plot.
Okay.
And so I'm really excited to see how it ends, but it's been amazing.
That sounds really cool.
Really liked it. I love that it's finite and relatively short, real like fast read. You do have to pay attention though. Like it is kind of convoluted, and it's the world of spies, so it's a whole bunch of people who like look alike. and
Yeah.
have very similar names as you'd expect from that type of work in that time period. But it's really great. Highly recommend it. So, pretty much the only thing I've got.
Speaking of James Bond, I was I was gonna try and get you and Shane this as a present, and then I saw the price tag on it, and the joke was gone.
Fair enough.
But did you know? You might know this already. Did you know there was an animated James Bond TV series
Called James Bond Jr.?
Yes.
Yes, I did know that,
And
actually.
it looked amazing. Did you watch it?
I think I did. I remember I had a couple toys
Okay.
from
It's
it.
2 seasons.
Okay.
And I tried to buy you the box set.
Oh
it was
my
like
God.
$78. I'm
What?
Like,
We need to go back to our guy over at WonderCon.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that this week, and I was
That's
like, I
amazing.
need to get them something.
Oh my God. I would have greatly appreciated that.
James Bond Jr., 1991.
Yeah.
What a year.
Oh, hang on. I have actually one more plug. Since
Oh,
it is
yes.
sitting next to me right here. But so I haven't actually watched this segment yet, but I know it's a thing. But some of you may also watch
John
Last
Oliver.
Week Tonight with the great John Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess in one of the segments he was talking about the one thing he likes about Mike Pence is that he has a bunny named Marlon Bundo,
Which is amazing.
which is amazing. And apparently Mike Pence wrote a book about Marlon Bundo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then John Oliver decided to write his version of the book with Marlon Bundo, A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo.
Mm-hmm.
But Marlon Bundo is a little gay rabbit.
Yes.
I happened to come across this today. My favorite bookstore back
Which
up
is
in Northern
amazing because
California.
it's sold out immediately.
Well, that's why I got it. It's
Yeah.
like I overheard the girl who works there talking about, like, wait, do you actually have a copy of it? They had a few of them. It's like, oh, I have to get one of these.
Yeah.
One, because it's gay, so I obviously had to buy it. But two, just it's so snarky and sarcastic too. But it's also just a delightful little children's read. And so I bought it from, like I said, my favorite bookstore, Recycle Books, up in Campbell, California. And I am now the proud owner of a Marlon Bundo book.
It's an honor. It really is.
We read it today while waiting for breakfast.
Amazing.
I think it's going to go into work with me instead of my desk.
It should.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful cover, a beautiful book.
It is. Actually, what I should do is I should go get like a picture frame holder, so I can like display it
You should.
nicely in the corner of my desk.
Yes.
For all to see.
Yes, exactly.
But I'm very, very proud that I own this now.
I'm happy for you.
So that'll be my second plug. If you guys can track it down, I highly recommend picking one up. But I think that's it.
I think we did it.
That is it for one
Somehow
of
we
our
made it.
longest, slowest episodes ever. I'm going directly to bed now.
Me too.
But if you do want to reach out to us and say hello, or if you want to point out to us what we got wrong,
Tell us what we got wrong.
about Green Lantern, which I'm sure this week is a lot.
Yep.
Or if you can help us understand how the Green Lantern timeline works in the DCAU, please, please, please help us out. We are at Timm Talk Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and a Gmail.
Yes.
I am at Lordifer on Twitter and Instagram. Maybe I'll post a photo of good old Marlon Bundo up on my Instagram for everyone to see. And then Cameron, who are you? What do you do? Where are your things?
I am a 25-year-old male.
This is true.
Straight, single. You can find my art at Cameron.Dexter.
You posted something recently.
I did. For Danny Phantom's 14th anniversary.
Oh, Danny Phantom.
I posted a little. I posted a short little video for
It was
that.
delightful. I was so happy to see that come
Thank
back.
you.
Yeah.
And then if you want to see my face, you can find me at CamDexter_adventures. And if you want to see my shirts, we have 2 new ones coming out this week or next week, soon in the next week. You can find that at Core Memories Co. Yay! And I think that's everything. So thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey! Do you like teen dramas?
Do you like teens?
Do you like watching TV shows?
If you do, you might like watching the OC. So give it a try, and you can listen to us in podcast form on the Bro C. We talk about flip phones.
We talk about tube tops.
We talk about things from the early 2000s.
We talk about people smooching other people.
Ooh, and great, great music.
Yep.
So hey, listen to us on iTunes or SoundCloud here on the Nerdist School Network.
Woo.
The Nerdist School Network. For class and show information, visit nerdistschool.com.